here are the 5 best businesses to buy in order in GTA Online. It is definitely worth mentioning that I will not be including the Kasatka for the KO Preaker heist or the Clucking Bell farm raid, as I do not really class these things as businesses, as they cannot make you money passively or semi-passive in the background. So yeah, without any further ado, let's dive into the first business. This first business might sound a little bit obvious, but it will be the Acid Lab, and there is a couple of really strong reasons I had to include this first. Simply put, the Acid Lab is quite easy to obtain. To get the vehicle itself, just complete all of the first dose missions from the Freak Shop. After doing this, you will then have the Acid Lab vehicle, and from this point you just really need to install the Acid Lab by going over to the Freak Shop and eventually get around to completing all of the Dax Fooligan jobs. Doing 10 of them in total will unlock the equipment upgrade, making the Acid Lab quite easily one of the better businesses across the game. Another reason you might want to get an Acid Lab if you do not have one yet is because essentially it is a mobile business. You can take this thing anywhere and start a sell mission if you choose to, and that really brings us to our next talking point on the Acid Lab. It will be the sell missions are extremely easy, and when the Acid Lab does get a double money and RP bonus, you will be able to make a ton of money. This next business to buy is a little bit controversial in my opinion, and I'm going to be honest to you, I was definitely torn between 2 of these different ones, but I did decide to go for the bunker or the MC businesses, or even both. If you do manage to get the bunker and MC businesses, they will be making you a ton of cash in the background whilst you focus on other things. Originally, I did want to go for a more active business where you would actually need to do something, and that would allow things like the Acid Lab to work in the background. But based on the price of the bunker and even some of the MC businesses, if you take your time upgrading them, they can really pay off and really help you out. Unfortunately, these things will have a pretty difficult sell mission, at least in terms of how long they take to complete, and it will also depend on how much stock you are selling. Not the best in terms of solo money, but the sell missions are still doable, especially the MC businesses, with their sell timer increased to a huge 45 minutes. It just really comes down to if you can be bothered to sell them when they have stock. This next business is the one that I really wanted to include at the second spot, and it will be the Auto Shop. I do actually think this might be one of the best starting active money methods. For those of you guys who do not know about the Auto Shop, you can go ahead and purchase this, not buy any upgrades for it, and start playing the robbery contracts. The majority of these contracts will get you around $170,000, and the highlight robbery contract will be the Union Depository contract, getting you almost double money compared to the rest. So whilst you guys are completing these things, you can have your Acid Lab in the background, bunker and MC businesses continuously making you money. Just every so often, make sure to check around these businesses again, resupply them if they need it, or even sell them. Already this will be a really solid starter money loop and should be able to generate you a really nice solid amount of cash. For the 4th spot, I do want to stay on the theme of these active money methods, and this is why I chose the agency. There is just so many upsides to the agency. Completing the Dr. Dre contract, getting that $1 million every single time the payphone hits, and security contracts. I think this is a really solid increase or step up from the Auto Shop, and in terms of businesses alone, I do think that the agency is probably one of the best active money methods you can do. And it also gets a little bit better than this, because if you do get a cooldown for the Dr. Dre contract, which I believe is only 1 hour long, in this time you can easily go to your MC businesses and Acid Lab, resupply them, and then go straight back over to the Auto Shop and complete a robbery contract. So again, just really adding to the money loop. It should make things extremely easy. And the 5th and final business I would also include for this 5, I think it just has to be the Salvage Yard. The Salvage Yard has an active money method that you can do every single week in the Salvage Yard robberies, always getting you a consistent $900,000 and sometimes just over $1 million every single week if you choose to complete them. But in my opinion, where the Salvage Yard really gets a lot better is the passive safe inside. As long as you maintain this by completing the salvage missions, by having one of the tow trucks, you can completely max the safe out, getting you roughly around $25,000 to $30,000 every 48 minutes, which by the way might sound like a really small amount of cash, but this will definitely add up. So that will be the original 5 that I chose in order, but I do think these honorable mentions could easily be switched into the list, depending where you are at currently in GTA Online. First of all, we have the car wash business, also including the 2 side businesses attached to this. I definitely think that this is more an endgame business than anything. If you do have all of the businesses across GTA Online, you can take full advantage of the passive safe inside the car wash, or at least the semi-passive safe, because you still need to empty this and sort of maintain it by lowering the heat. Still well worth it, but roughly an extra $30,000 every 48 minutes. And by far the best reason to get a car wash and its side businesses is because of the more profit you can get on select MC businesses. So for the car wash business, just owning this will get you a 35% boost on the counterfeit cash factory, which is a surprisingly really nice boost. The Higgin Teletors will get you a 10% boost to the hangar business, which I would also include as another honourable mention, a really solid active money method that will pay off eventually. And the smoke on the water shop will get a 35% boost, just like the car wash business, to the weed farm, making the weed farm actually a good MC business. Another place that has to be an honourable mention will be the nightclub. I think this is really similar to the car wash, and I definitely think it is more of an endgame business, especially with the warehouse technicians, where you need different businesses first to get the most out of it. However, just having a nightclub without all of these warehouse technicians could still be really effective, keeping that nightclub popularity all the way full and getting $50,000 every 48 minutes can really make a huge difference. I think we also have to include the garment factory as an honourable mention. I think out of the honourable mentions so far, this is one that I could definitely include, potentially instead of the auto shop. However, I do think the auto shop might be just a little bit better in terms of payouts. But briefly forgetting about the payouts for these two things, the garment factory just offers you so many different options. For example, a Mark II weapon workshop inside, a place to store your terabyte if you have one, and of course get access to the better terabyte upgrades like the MCT, which in my opinion is a game changer, and even a passive safe, which is by no means that good, but still it is a passive safe, making you money in the background. One of my main reasons for not including the garment factory really comes down to its price, and the fact you don't really have a good selection of places. There is only one place for the garment factory, whereas if you wanted to save some money with the auto shops, you could just use a different location, or even select the things you want in terms of upgrades. With the garment factory, you really are just getting what you are given, and some people might see that as a downside. So yeah, that will really wrap it up for this video. Definitely make sure to leave a comment and let me know the order you would put these businesses in. Maybe you guys completely disagree with this list or have a completely different outlook. If we were to include the Clucking Bell Farm raid and the Kasatka or Kayoprika heist, obviously this list would be a lot different, with the Clucking Bell Farm raid definitely being at the front on #1 spot. Costing nothing to set up, extremely easy to play through multiple times, and only having a 1-hour cooldown, that is what I would go for to save up for things like the Acid Lab, or even just saving up for the Kasatka itself. But yeah guys, I'm really intrigued to hear what you think, so once again make sure to leave a comment with your list, and as always, if you went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in any way, shape or form, make sure to leave a like. I always do appreciate your support, and if you are new to the channel and like what you see, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.